Nithyananda, welcome everybody back to The Blissful Athlete. Thank you for tuning in as always. Today is a nice, beautiful sunny day here in California. Before we get started in today's video, which will be the 8 powerful tips for meditation, I'm just going to start with the Sadguru Vandanam and create the space for us to download these incredible teachings today from not only my own master, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, but also from Paramahamsa Yogananda, who has inspired this video today. So before that, let's get started with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nityanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamutim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadiraksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvati Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Yes, welcome back everybody. Faze, hello, I'm doing good, thanks. Hope you are doing well as well. So today's video is inspired by a couple enlightened masters, Paramahamsa Yogananda and my own guru, Bhagavan Nithyananda. And I wanted to touch base on some meditation tips that, when I first had my spiritual awakening, I didn't really know who to listen to, who to follow, and I just kind of learned about meditation, sat myself down and just like jumped into it and just tried to learn as much as I could along the way. And I think had I taken a step back and really, learned some core key meditation tips, it really would have taken my practice to a whole new level. But that's just the way life goes, and I've gone on my own journey, and now today I feel like I have a bit of a meditation practice now for 5 years or so. I don't claim to be a master or anything like that, but I do know that I've come across some very powerful tips and techniques along the way, and I've applied them to my own meditation practice. And now today I'm going to be teaching 8 meditation tips from 2 enlightened masters, and I'm just going to be basically teaching or expressing this from my own Sakshi Pramana, my own experience, excuse me, from my own experience of these tips. And what I can say is that they are next level, and that you will experience a whole new depth to your meditation if you just incorporate these little tips here and there. So with that, how we're going to do the scheduling today, as always, I'm going to just, I'll give you guys these tips. If you hang on until the end, I'll open things up for a live Q&A. You can ask me anything on today's topic, or anything in previous videos that I've done, or anything that you'd like to know about me personally as well. And for those of you who do not know me, my name is Sri Nithyananda. I'm an ordained Nithyananda Yogacharya by my guru, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. And for the last 3 years, I was living in India with my guru, and I was being directly trained by him in yoga and various other Hindu practices or Hindu rituals. And what I can say from living those 3 years under him was it was such a blessing. Everything that I had learned during that time, I feel like I'm not sure how I could have accumulated such good karma in my past life, but apparently I did that because before coming to India, before coming to my guru, I was a professional ice hockey player. I was not your typical spiritual being. I was the furthest thing from it. I was an atheist, and one thing led to another though, and I found myself at the feet of my master. And I can say for those 3 years, I was blessed to be directly trained by him. If you know the Pratama Vinyasa Krama, I was a big aspect of that was me getting to work with him, and him like letting us know how he wants the whole sequence to be structured, the 108 asana sequence. And I remember one day, once everything was compiled and presented to him, we did like a demo of the Pratama Vinyasa Krama, and I was amongst a team that was, we went into his personal quarters, and we sat there, and we talked about the Pratama Vinyasa Krama, and he wanted to see a demonstration of it. And so here we were in my master's personal quarters, and he was sitting there, he was on his bed, he had his iPad out. He gives a lot of likes on Facebook, and so he's always scrolling and giving likes on Facebook, and at that time he had his iPad out. And so we did a quick demonstration of the Pratama Vinyasa Krama, and so there was two of us that were actually doing a demonstration. One was Yogananda Swami, and then myself, and it was very cool to be. Not too many people could say that they performed yoga in, a handful of feet away from an enlightened being, and not only that, to have him give direct feedback on how you're performing your yogasanas or your bandhas or any one of the 12 components. It was quite an incredible experience. And fast forward, we had a couple programs where we were first teaching this to 1,000 people, and one day we're in the hall, and I wasn't teaching this class. I was actually walking around the hall at this time, and Swamiji was at the front of the stage, and we're there during this program called Paramashivam. And all of a sudden, during the yoga class, the yoga session is actually happening. Swamiji calls out my name and tells me to come to the stage. And so I run up to the stage, and I get up to Swamiji, and he goes, "I want you to hold on to my big toe." And so I was on my knees, and I just held onto his big toe, and I just felt like this tremendous download was happening as I was holding on to his foot. And I could feel the energy. It was like just pulsing at my third eye. And as I sat there, and I honestly, I cannot tell you how long I was there for. It felt like an eternity. I don't know how long it was. Surely it was an eternity, but as I was there, I just felt like I was in such a, I didn't have to be in a space of gratitude. It just overwhelmed me. Just sitting there with my master, holding onto his foot, and I could feel this pulse, this energy just flowing into my third eye. And it was just like, it was too good to be true. It was an incredible experience, and so I've had a lot of incredible happenings in my life over the past few years, and I know that it's all thanks to my guru and just saying yes to life and taking up the opportunity of jumping and attending his programs and being in his presence. So with that being said, though, I thought I could tune this into a good instructional course, or not course, but a class today to help you with your own meditation practice. If you are a meditator, or let's say you're a beginner and you're somebody that wants to take meditation to a whole new depth, then that's what today's practice or video is all about. And so with that, let's dive into the 8 tips that I have today. Again, these are coming from Paramahamsa Yogananda and my guru as well. And the first tip is actually focusing on the depth of your meditation. So if you're somebody that wants to meditate, but right away you're kind of like me and you just want to sit down for an hour and just be there and just, try and get the most out of meditation right away and go all in, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But first, focus on short and deep meditations. Okay, so the first tip is short and deep meditations, because when you're sitting there for really long periods of time, your mind and body are just going to be fighting you at every corner that you can imagine in your mind. And so when you're focusing on just sitting down for a short period of time and really trying to dive in deep into yourself, you're going to get a much more powerful meditation from this. And I can say this truly from my own experience. I remember I would sit down for 90 minutes and try and have this really powerful meditation, but it was just too long. I wasn't adept to meditation yet, so I needed to bring myself back, and I started to focus on 5-minute meditations, and then 10, and then 15. So if you're somebody that's new, or even if you're a practitioner that's been up all the way to 30 minutes of meditation, and you're still not feeling like you're getting it and you want a deeper meditation, then cut back the length of your meditation and work on the depth of it that you're going to get from it. Then you're going to get something from it even more beneficial than I can tell you that from my own experience. So don't force yourself into putting yourself in a situation where, okay, I'm doing this for 60 minutes. Here we go. It's not about that. And it's not about that willpower, which I'll get into in one of the other tips. So the second, my laptop died here. Sorry, I want to see some comments from you guys too. Hold on those. I promise I'll get to all your comments. And we'll do a nice Q&A as always. The second tip that I had was calmness in time. So it takes time for you to really relax and tune into your body. And when you're focusing so much on just trying to get a deep meditation right away, we tend to get in our heads and say, like, why isn't this happening for me yet? What do I need to do? Then all of a sudden we get agitated, and then we just back out. What you need to understand is that it does take time to get into a very deep meditative state. And that relaxation will come. It's just you need to be patient with yourself. Meditation is something that can be very frustrating if you're at the very beginning of your practice. So I really do recommend just taking a second and relax. Meditation will happen in its own time. It's not something that you need to force and put a number on and say, if I'm not getting to this depth by this time, then I'm not going to be practicing anymore. Just relax and understand that meditation does take time, and there's nothing to be concerned about there. The third one, meditation is for you. Calmness is your true nature. So this one, Paramahamsa Yogananda is saying, we feel like maybe meditation isn't for me, and it's not something that, I'm not good at. We don't need to be worrying about whether I'm good at it, whether this is right or wrong for me, whether it's something that I should be practicing. Bottom line is we should all constantly be working on our meditation practice, whether that's for 5 minutes a day or for 5 hours a day. That's entirely up to you, but meditation does have its place. Now, what I've learned, and from my own experience and from what my guru has taught me, is that meditation is really just a tool for you to bring your practice now and bring it into the real world. So it's a training ground for you to bring it and apply this state, this space into your day-to-day life. Now, with that being said, it is your true nature to just be in a state of meditation. Meditation is all about constantly bringing yourself back to a deep meditative state, which is joyfulness, calmness. And it could even be excitement for life. You can feel the excitement, the energy explode within you the more that you meditate. And it gets to a point where you can't even contain it sometimes. That's how you know that you're on the right path with meditation, but that's the real purpose for it as well. And like I said, the fourth tip that I had has something to do with willpower. We tend to try and force things and make things happen and use our will to shut down our mind. And I want to just clear a little bit of light here, because my guru is always talking about willpower and using will persistence. Sometimes with meditation, though, it's not forcing yourself into it right away. First, we need to relax, take a moment, calm ourselves, calm our body. Once you get more and more into a deeper state, then you can start applying willpower. What Paramahamsa Yogananda says is that willpower should be applied gradually. So you gradually implement this willpower but you don't start with it. It's not something that you just jump right into your meditation and you try and force yourself into this deep state or higher state of consciousness. Just relax into it. Relax into your body. Relax into your mind. And then as you find that your mind tends to waver a little bit, that's when the willpower, the will persistence is really applied. So it's not something that you're going to just start with. Don't worry about jumping straight into being this, willing meditation into your life. It's something that gradually will get you'll gradually get to a space, and then you can apply willpower and will persistence in your meditation. And that's really how the length of your meditation will extend as well. So first, just focusing on the depth of your meditation, then the length will come in its own time. This was a really good one. Paramahamsa Yogananda, I heard him say, your soul loves to meditate. Reluctance comes from the ego. Anytime that you're thinking, I want to meditate, and then something else comes up in your head, or like, oh, I got to do this, or I got to do that, or my meditation sucks lately, or even when you're in a meditation, all of a sudden you just want to back out and you want to come out of the meditation. All this is ego. The reluctance that you're feeling in your head, in your mind, is ego. It's not something that is tangible, that's really in existence. It's something that you just need to release yourself from. Okay? No, you don't need to judge yourself on where your meditation practice is, where you are in life. Just relax. Let the ego say what it wants to say, but understand that any reluctance that you're feeling is not you. It is the ego. So when you have this inspiration to sit down and meditate, and then you have this self-doubt or this moment of, oh, but I have to do this. Don't worry about that. That is the ego. That is the reluctance only coming from the ego. So understand that the soul, your being, is always wanting to reconnect with its true source. It's always wanting to touch its true essence, and that happens through meditation. So understand that you, the being inside, is always wanting to meditate. It's always wanting to connect to itself, to its source. So anything that's blocking you, whether within the mind, is ego. And just understand that. The reluctance is from the ego. Moving on to the sixth tip today. Meditate more and more until calmness and joy become your second nature. So the more and more that you practice meditation, the more you'll find throughout your day-to-day life, you're going to find more joy. You're going to be more happy, more loving, more grateful. And that is something that happens in time. So you just need to stick with it. And I talk to a lot of people about exercising specifically lately, trying to develop their body to become a strong, healthy being. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes a program. It takes consistency. It takes you showing up every day. But if you do that, what will happen is your body will manifest a strong yogic body. You will improve your flexibility. You'll improve your strength. Whatever it is that your specific goal is, it will come, but it comes with practice. It comes with time. Meditation is the same thing. The joy, the love, the blissful sensation will come, but it's a second, and it will come as a second nature in you, and you'll just realize that, oh, this is just what I am. I just am strong now because of everything that you've done before that. So just understand that meditation, it is a practice that comes in time, and it's something that it can happen now as well, but also the second nature of you, your expression, will start to open up and flower more and more and more the more that you dive deeper and deeper into yourself. And then the last tip today, second to last tip, Nithyananda, eternal bliss is not difficult for you to experience because you are eternal. the only thing that's blocking us from experience eternal bliss is this cognition that it's something difficult for us to achieve, but we can achieve it right now in this moment. And it seems so difficult for us to obtain or attain that state sometimes when we get so lost in the Maya, or our own delusions, or our own doubts, worries, things that are happening in our lives. But ultimately, the truth is that Nithyananda, eternal bliss, can happen in this moment, and it can happen right now, because that is your true nature. You are eternal and you are bliss. So understanding that this is who I am, and all I need to do to attain this state is just have the desire, have the intention, have the motive to continuously come back and sit down and take a moment to connect to yourself. And sometimes it doesn't even need to be sitting down. You could be walking around. You could be doing something. Looking for that eternal bliss within, understanding that it will come in time, but it also is your true and natural state of being. These are all truths. Understanding that you are eternal bliss, you are Nithyananda, and just sit with that and just cognize that and just chew that over, and it will happen when it's time. And then the last tip that I have for you today is unclutching. Unclutching again and again from anything that you are not, that is not you. And my guru just taught us this the other day. You are eternal. You are eternal. There's nothing that, like this body, this hand can get chopped off. It's not me. So if this hand is not eternal, then this hand is not me. If this body is not eternal, then this body is not me. If these thoughts are not eternal, then these thoughts are not me. You are eternal. There's nothing that can be taken away from you because you're eternal. Understanding this and really chewing on this cognition, what my guru says is to even write down everything that comes to your mind that you feel is you, and cognize that this is not you. Write down everything that you perceive as not you. Understand that this is not me, and sit with this space that you are eternal, that you are never-ending bliss. That is all that meditation ultimately is, that you can just sit down, be with yourself, and understand and know that I am eternally blissful, and just connect to that state again and again and again through unclutching. So unclutching is, imagine just tuning into your body, and if you notice any tightness, any tension, for me it tends to be in my solar plexus. Unclutching is just putting my consciousness there, putting my awareness there, and consciously releasing it, allowing it to be there, but just letting go of that tension again and again and again, and then resting in that space of Nithyananda, eternal bliss. What you'll do, or what you'll find if you apply these 8 tips from these enlightened masters, is that your meditation practice will go next level. I can promise you that. And so if this is something that you found helpful in learning, at least, then I beg you to apply it to your meditation practice. It is something I know you'll find some benefit from. And if there's one tip that I can really take away if you're a beginner, or if there's one tip I could really emphasize, that would be to sit down for shorter periods of time, but find more depth in your meditation. And then, as always, when you're done your meditation, now it's time to live life. Now it's time to operate from that space, okay? And enjoy the life and be invested in it and manifest and create in this world of Maya that we are in. So I hope that helps you all on your meditation practice. Let me know in the comments section if this was something that you enjoyed. With that being said, there is a huge opportunity for you to experience Nithyananda, the eternal bliss, through vertical time zones. So what my girl's been talking about lately is experiencing different lokas, different dimensions, different states of consciousness through what's known as a vertical time zone. So we're piercing through our mind, we're piercing through our consciousness, and piercing through our buddhi, our intelligence, to express and not express, but to get to this state of eternal bliss. This is what my guru is going to be talking about in this next webinar that's actually happening tonight. So after this, I'm going to put a link down below where you can check out and learn more about this free webinar that he's doing tonight, Pacific Standard Time. Unless you're in India, it's happening 7:30 a.m. IST. And then if you're watching a replay of this, still you can register and you could probably get access to the replay after. But it's definitely something to watch, especially if you enjoyed these tips. I'm telling you, my guru is next level when he's talking about experiencing this state of Paramashivam, Paramashivatva, embracing yourself as the divine, as the creator of the cosmos, and really establishing yourself in that state, space, and being, so you can manifest the powers and express the divinity of Paramashiva, which is the ultimate purpose of why we are here. So again, I'll put a link in that description, in the description down below. So with that being said, we can dive into some Q&A. If you have any questions for me, I'll pull up my laptop and we'll take a look. First, thank you so much for coming here, taking your time on this Saturday morning to be with me all again. This is honestly my favorite part of the week. I've been really enjoying just coming here and just sitting and getting a chance to open up and talk with my followers and subscribers. And so this is my bonding time with you all. I feel like I really am thinking I'm probably going to start switching to a lot more live content, because I prefer the engagement with you all. And if you guys have never recorded anything, it's a little bit weird just to like talk into a camera the whole time and then have to upload it and everything. So it's nice that at least right now there's a camera on me, but I know you're watching and I can at least kind of connect with you because I know this is real time. So I appreciate you being here, and I hope that you're enjoying it as much as me. All right. So let's get into it. How to make dreadlocks hair. Satendra, how to make dreadlock hair. I don't know how you make it, to be honest. Start by growing your hair. That's what I would say. It's actually funny. When I was a kid, I had hair that was like this long, and I'd always spike it up. But my hair is really thin. You might be able to tell, but I have really thin hair. And so what I would always do is I'd try and spike it up and it would just fall down. So even when I was younger, I was rubbing my hair together so it would stay up and it would spike. So if you want to get started with Jatas, you could do it as something as simple as that. But I actually highly recommend going to somebody that actually knows how to make the mats, the dreadlock happen. So if you're interested in Jatas, go to a professional. It's not something that you want to just start rubbing together like I did when I was younger. Bavalo, any tips for sleeping with Kundalini energy going? It's kind of hard when the body shakes and the spine keeps moving into different postures. This is a really good question, actually, because I know what you mean. Kundalini energy is like, it's so powerful, right? Don't sleep. Use the energy. We force ourselves into sleeping because this is the pattern, or we're so, not brainwashed, but we just have this mindset that, okay, it's like 10 p.m. or it's 12 p.m. It's time for me to go to sleep. Stay up and use that energy. Kundalini is a life energy. It's Shakti. Let it manifest through you through creation. So when you're trying to sleep, you're avoiding and blocking that energy from expressing, which is it's not helping you. Now, if you're let's say staying up and it's like 2, 3 a.m. and you're still having and you're ready to go to sleep, I would say, okay, do your best to try and sleep, but the next day, getting up earlier and being more involved in life is the solution. The solution isn't anything to do with how you go to sleep. You should be passing out when you go to bed. That is how you use Kundalini energy. when I was in my guru's ashram, I was legitimately sleeping 3.5 hours a night on a regular, consistent basis because I had so much Kundalini energy. My Kundalini Shakti was just like, ah. So you have to use this energy. It's a gift. It's a blessing. It's an opportunity for you to get more involved in life, because ultimately that's why we are here. We're here to be involved in life. So if you're having difficulties going to sleep, it's not a difficulty. It's a blessing, really, for you to be more engaged in manifesting and creating different things that you want for your life. So what I would recommend is I would stay up later than normal, and I would get up earlier than normal and use that energy, use that Shakti that you have within you, because it's a blessing. So what I would say is, if you're still struggling with sleeping, think of it as it shouldn't be sleeping. It should be passing out. You should be so tired. You ever have those long days of travel and you've just been up for 22 straight hours and you just you can't wait to get to your bed? That is what you need to approach to your bed. You live your life, you express this energy, and you get to a point where you're just so gassed from everything that you've done to that day, because that energy that is expressing, then you just pass out. That's how you fall asleep. That's how you can overcome that difficulty. So I hope that helps. Branko Nithyananda, my friend, talk about secret tips of Paramashivam. Secret tips of Paramashivam. Secret tips of Paramashivam. I would say the secret key is the Mahavakya. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. So the secret tip would be to use the secret key. Paramashivam, if you do not know, this is resting, expressing, living the state, space, and radiating the being and the powers of the creator of the cosmos. So that would be, I guess, the tip is really understanding and cognizing what we're talking and what we're meaning by Paramashivam. Because as a Westerner, Sanskrit words, at first, if you're new, you don't know what they mean. Sometimes Swamiji will talk about something and I'm still I don't know what he's talking about. So understanding the depth of a Sanskrit word first, then you'll understand the keys to it. So the depth of Paramashivam, there's so much involved there. So first understanding what that means, and then the simple key to experience that is what my guru has given us, is the Mahavakya, chanting this again and again internally, or it could be expressed verbally as well. This japa, Om Nithyananda Paramashivam, again and again and again, allowing you to be coming back to this state, space, being, and radiating and expressing the powers of Paramashiva. That is what Paramashivam is ultimately. And if you did not know, Paramashivam is a main program as well that my guru has around Christmas time every year. This year it's going to be starting December 10th. I'll put a link in the description down below for that as well. So if you are somebody that's interested in expressing the powers, manifesting the powers, one, you can get a free initiation into Paramashivam if you watch the webinar that's happening tonight. Two, if you want to really take expressing the powers and radiating that state and that bliss, that even just looking at me, sometimes I'll just start talking about it and I'm like, yeah. that can happen as well through taking the program Paramashivam. So thank you for asking that. I'm sorry, that's a complete Hindi name. I don't know what that is. It's not even in English. Mary Nityananda, Adrian, his big toe got you lit. Yeah, it did. Yeah. Is there anyone that do third eye awakening online, or can you do it? Cannot go to Indian. Is there any way? Yes. So if you just type in Nithyananda Oneness Capsule, Nithyananda Oneness Capsule in YouTube, that's a third eye awakening and Kundalini awakening initiation. You literally watch the video and that is an initiation. Everything else from that is up to you, of you expressing it and utilizing the Kundalini energy and kindling the fire more and more. But watching this video is an initiation. And I can say this from my own experience. I've seen it hundreds of times with people watching it, their Kundalini getting awakened. My guru, he awoke 10,000 third eyes through two-way video conferencing 2 years ago now. And then since that, he's doing his own upgrades. Now he doesn't need to see you. It can happen through a video. So if you're interested in your third eye or Kundalini being awakened, just watch a oneness capsule video. And I'm telling you, it's awoke. All you have to do is start using it and expressing it. Now, just because there's not this moment where all of a sudden this white light is everywhere and you're just like all of a sudden floating up into, the fourth dimension of consciousness, just because you're not getting that experience, maybe it still means that your third eye is awakened, that your Kundalini is awakened. I can promise you that. So watching a oneness capsule is all it takes. Alberto Nithyananda, my friend. Pentagon, spread Hinduism all over the world. Will do it, brother. Mean behind looking real. Mean behind you looking real. I'm scared. I think you mean my Guru's Murti. Yes, he is very real. He is very much in the Murti. Ant boy looking for mentors. Then keep watching the channel. I hope this is really helping you. Be involved as well in the community. If you have questions, anything, if you've been following this channel for any length of time, you'll probably notice that I really do my best to respond to absolutely everybody. Sometimes if there's a comment that I just feel like I don't need to get involved in it, then I won't. But if you're sincere and you're interested, then of course I can get involved and answer any of your questions. Larry, I just got a message from Larry Larry, so this is the first time anybody's actually given a donation, so I appreciate that, Larry. I used to do third eye meditation with one of your guru's ex-followers, Ma Sudevi, but she deleted all her videos. Would you make one for me? Yeah, absolutely. So what I would say is first, I would check out the third eye meditation playlist that my guru has. There's, I think, over 60 videos there. So if you have not watched those, what I would say is watch those first, because those are much more powerful than anything that I could do or anything that Ma Sudevi could do. That being said, I could still create a guided meditation that can help you, I guess, radiate more through your third eye. But to be honest, I'm just a disciple. Anything that I do is I try my best to just be a conduit for Swamiji to express through. So I really try and drop any ego in that, like this is something that I'm doing or this is my teaching. To be quite honest, you don't want that. What you want is the real deal. You want the enlightened masters, the avatar to be teaching you. And so what I would say is I would check out his playlist. Now that being said, Larry, Larry, take down my email, send me an email, and then I'll communicate with you directly as well. My email is DRIDHA, so Drida, @blissfulathlete.com. And then just send me a direct email and we can go from there, okay? So I promise I'll help you out with that and we'll get you aligned with exactly what you're wanting, okay? So I appreciate that donation, Larry. Where are we at? Joseph, this was definitely super helpful. Awesome, buddy. I'm glad to hear that. Gabriella, yes, we are eternal. Who's behind that is my guru, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. So that is his Murti. Murti means that it's not just a picture, it's energized. His life energy is in there. His presence. He's there. Anytime that I really want to communicate with my guru, I can go to his Murti. I can really connect with him. And you will feel like this. You'll feel like this invisible hug happening around you when first you need to cognize this though. It's not like you can walk up to him and be like, it's a picture. it's not real, like he's not really there, then of course you're not going to have that type of experience. But if you cognize and revere and understand that consciousness is everywhere, it's pervading everything, and that certain beings, once you get to a certain state of consciousness, can energize and infuse their energy into certain objects, materials, deities, anything really. When my guru infuses himself into his murti, his energy, his presence, his state is there. It's in this room. This is the most sacred room in the house because he is here. He's right there. So it's not just some picture. It is my guru. It is his presence here in our house. So, can humans fly? Is there such a Shakti? I love it. Thank you for asking this question. Who was that? Hansaro Ju. Yes, who humans can fly. So what I was thinking about last night actually was every evening I do a meditation and a yoga practice. And actually, if you guys are interested in me doing a live stream of my evening yoga, then let me know in the comments section. Because I've been thinking about, I don't want to like record and edit things for this. But if you're wanting to just kind of tag along with some of the things that I'm doing to advance my own flexibility, and just there's a few asanas that in particular I'm working on. So if you're interested in just following along with that, then maybe something you would want to be doing, let me know. And because I'm thinking about doing a live stream of my evening yoga stuff that I'm doing. But with that being said, last night actually, I was thinking, I wasn't thinking, this cognition came up to me while I was doing a specific asana. And what had come to me was, oh my goodness, like I'm a completely different being than I was 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I was not the same person. And I was like, for me, I was thinking, but that being is somewhere within my DNA still. Like those cognitions, that way of life, it was still within me. It's still somewhere within me, even though I can't comprehend myself as this hockey player that drinks alcohol and chases girls around. All of a sudden, that's not me anymore. That's not me. It's not who I am. But that is in my DNA. That information, that being, everything that I've learned, everything that I've done throughout this lifetime is in my DNA. It's stored there. Now, this seems like this is in this birth, but for me, why I'm saying this is that it seems like it was a past life. Yes, it's in this body still, but it was in a past life. Simultaneously, we've all had numerous lives, not just as human beings, as we've had lives as animals, insects, fish, you name it. We've experienced life in various different states of consciousness, but that intelligence, the information that we gained, the experiences that we had, gets stored in our DNA. And then you take your DNA is like like a little thumb drive. You can just plug it into any body. Any body that you have, you just plug in your thumb drive, your thumb, maybe you don't call it a thumb drive, just a memory stick. So you have a little memory stick, you plug it into your computer and you get access to all that information, right? Same thing with your DNA. You have this memory stick, you plug it in to the hardware, which isn't a computer, it's a new body, but you have access to all that information. Now, scientists call this information junk DNA because they don't know, it's just sitting there. There's all these strands of DNA sitting there that supposedly have no use. These are stored, this is a stored intelligence within us, including when we were able to fly as birds. Now for me, right away, I'm like, oh my, like the logical side of Drita is like, this is not real. This is not possible. Like birds had wings, right? Humans don't have wings. So now how can I fly? This is the exact type of logical thinking that restricts us from expressing that junk DNA. What happens though is the more we become conscious, the more we really align ourselves to our true identity of Paramashivatva, that I am the cosmos, I am eternal, I am the divine. When you truly cognize yourself as that, not this being, this human, in this human body, that I am the divine, that's when these various different powers start to express. But it's only possible with an initiation from an enlightened master and with you dropping the stupid logical mind, such as I have. Because right now, let's be honest, I'm not flying. It means I don't believe I can fly. If you're not flying, it means the same thing. If you're not expressing something, it's because your belief is blocking it. That's it. So all we need to do is really, one, get the initiation, and two, really start to fight that ego, fight the logical mind. Not like necessarily like physically or things like that, but we do that by unclutching, dropping, releasing the SDHDs, the self-doubting, self-hating, self-denying thoughts that are saying like, no, that's not me. Like you're a hockey player, and like you go out drinking, and so all of these, the old patterns that are within you, you need to work on releasing them and no longer allowing them in your system. And from my experience, the best way that you can release those is by expressing your new identity to a fuller and more, in a more vibrant way. And that's what living in Kailasa was all about, living with my guru for 3 years. It is such an intense space. And he's created this ecosystem where you're constantly doing things. You're on the go. You're making life happen. You're involved. You're manifesting powers. You don't have time to think about things and doubt things sometimes. You just have to start doing and going. And what you'll find is that you're all of a sudden like, you just slowly are elevating your space higher and higher and higher. And then eventually you look back and you're like, oh my God, that was me? I was a hockey player? It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't feel like that's who I was at all in this birth. And so it happens though, and it can happen, and it will happen. I'm certain that within this life, we're going to see people levitating like full on and being able to like, float around and fly without a doubt. So it's just a matter of time until that happens. I would love it for it to be me. I haven't made the intense declaration and intention myself to do it. So you asking this question is really making me contemplate on that, because, I mean, what an amazing thing to achieve. But with that in mind, that it takes a lot of tapas. It takes an intense lifestyle. It takes a lot of sacrifice as well, to giving up all those little desires, the things that we like to do. That's what would ultimately need to be sacrificed, those little day-to-day things that you're doing in your life, if you're really wanting to express and radiate those mahashaktis, those great powers that are maybe something a little bit more beyond something like body scanning. Body scanning is a power that can be expressed, and just like them all, just takes a simple initiation and then expressing. For me, from my experience, body scannings happen a lot faster than floating and flying. So just keeping that in mind. That was a really good question though. Thank you for asking that. Should we wet our hair before sadhana, specifically jatas? That's really up to you. I can't say I've come across any scriptural references talking about wetting your hair. That being said, when my hair is wet and it is sitting on top of my head, I've talked about this before, my hairline is receding a little bit, and so I can't put my jatas right on top, but it's supposed to be right on top of the crown of your head. And the more weight that is there, that it makes your meditation so much more powerful. And so if you are wetting your hair and putting it there on top, I can say from my own experience that it does make for a more powerful meditation. But that being said, that there's no scriptural reference that I've seen yet that talks about the importance of wetting your hair before sadhana. You should be bathing though. There's multiple references talking about how you should be bathing before the ritual of yoga, the puja, and before entering into a temple. So keeping that in mind, but as this hair or the jata specifically, I can't say that I've come across anything like that. Paula, I've missed a lot. Just got here. Hi everyone. Hey Paula, thanks for tuning in. Still, if you're still here, just once the video is posted, then just watch the beginning again, I guess. Erie, thank you. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Awesome. Oh. When you guys keep commenting, I lose my spot. Paul, is there a way on your channel that we can find out who we were in past lives, please? Paula, sorry, Paula. Yeah, if you're interested in learning what you were in your past life, I do not do Akashic readings. I'm not initiated into Akashic readings, but that would be an Akashic reading that you're looking for. The thing with Akashic readings is they are free, but you kind of have to jump at the opportunity. So there was an extended period of time where Akashic readings were happening every day for every time zone in the world. And I shouldn't say in the world, but a lot of time zones. And they were entirely free, and it was online. So you just jumped on a Zoom session and you got a free Akashic reading. They were incredible. I was hosting them for some time, so I saw a ton of really amazing responses. But right now they're not happening live. The only place that you can get them in person is in India. So if you're really wanting an Akashic reading, jump on a plane and go to India. But if not, for the time being, just keep your ears peeled, and I'll do an announcement the next time that I hear Akashic readings are happening. And then I'll even put a link, if I can find one, in the description below of maybe a pre-registration for you if you're wanting to get an Akashic reading. But that is how I found out what I was in a past life as well. So you're on point there. If you want to know what you are in a past life, Akashic readings through one of my gurus, Bala Sants, the Child Saints, is the most authentic way that you can get a reading, and they're pretty powerful. Dan, no question today, but I just wanted to say thank you for doing this. You are making a difference. I appreciate that, Dan. That means a lot. Rohit, have you opened your third eye? Yes. I should say I did not open my third eye. My guru opened my third eye. Oh, Dan actually does have a question. Actually, just thought of one. Is there an app to learn Sanskrit? Surely there must be. If you guys have not downloaded the Enlightened app, I would recommend starting there. You can learn the Sanskrit chanting of the 108 asanas, the Pratama Vinyasa Krama. That'd be a great way to start too, because you get to learn the words and the meanings of the asanas. So I would start there. I know that there is a plan to unfold the next dimension, or the next version, I should say, of the app to involve learning more Sanskrit words. So I would start there. Other than that, I don't know of any other apps. Surely there's probably some that exist, but I would download the app that's called Enlightened. So it's the letter N, Lighten. And that's my guru's app, and there's a lot of other things in there too that you guys should check out. Adrian, should I start my practice with the Mahavakya in short, deep depth sessions as well? Yeah. If you've not yet started a meditation practice, then I would definitely focus with short and deep meditation. So I would set 5-minute timer. That's it. Like, don't go anything beyond 5 minutes. Take 5 minutes 3 times a day, where you're going to sit down, you set your timer, and you are not doing anything but focusing on relaxing your body. So when you're first diving into meditation, focusing on relaxing your body is the best way for you to find that state of calmness, because you gotta understand that to get through to your mind that the mind and body are interconnected. You'll feel the tension in your body first before you see it in your mind. So taking time to just relax your body. I would even make your 5-minute meditations about just trying to be as relaxed as possible with a head, neck, and spine in straight line, and sitting in that deep restful awareness. Now, what I would say is I would listen to the Mahavakya, which is the chanting Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Listen to the Mahavakya. You can repeat it as well, but at the very beginning, what I would recommend is not chanting it and not saying it, because if you're brand new to meditation, I would want you to be focusing on relaxing your body. So keeping it simple, not focusing on relaxing your body and then the Om Nithyananda, oh, but I need to relax. Like, don't balance the two out. Just focus on relaxing your body, and just, you can, like you say, you can take a deep breath and exhale and continuously unclutch. So I would start, I'm going to really break it down for you. I would start off with taking 3 to 5 deep inhalations through the nose, a nice long exhalation, and as you're exhaling, you're relaxing your entire body completely, okay? After you do that for 3 to 5 times, then just really focus on unclutching. So finding the areas of tension within your body and then just releasing it and continuously unclutching again and again and again for 5 minutes. And then have Mahavakya playing in the background. So let that be the music that you have just playing, but don't focus on the Mahavakya. Focus on relaxing and completely releasing any tension in your body. Do that 3 times a day for 5 minutes. That would be a great way to start your practice. And what I would say is set a goal of 6 weeks. For 6 weeks, not setting a goal, make a declaration, a sankalpa, intention, that for 6 weeks, 3 times a day, 5 minutes a day, you're going to sit down and do that. And what you'll find is your meditation will just go next level, and you'll be craving to go longer than 5 minutes. But I would say at least do 5 minutes a day in the way that I just spoke to you. So I hope that helps. Let me know, actually. Do this for 6 weeks and then hit me up and whether send me a direct message or just comment on this video, and I'd love to hear how that goes for you. Arvind, I love you too. Jay, are there any aspects of Hinduism that scare you or were hard to accept? This is a good question. There's no aspects of Hinduism that scare me, but there are aspects of Hinduism that I can understand why they scare others. And one of the most obvious ones is how you worship what seems to be a human being, right? So if you're somebody that's not a practicing Hindu, maybe some of you that's not even spiritual at all, and you happen to stumble across this room where there's this human being sitting on a throne and all of these people kneeling down and worshiping and just admiring and looking at and revering this person, that would be like, what's going on here? Is this a cult? So that could scare somebody. And I understand, where, especially somebody that's a Westerner, where they're coming from. It makes a total sense. I get that. It's something that you need to taste and experience. So with Hinduism, gurus are God. They are the embodiment of God. And actually, I'm not going to talk about all of this, that whole aspect. But that being said, there's a lot of different things that you can look at in Hinduism and be like, what is going on? Why all the jewelry on their face? Or, why are they dressing this way? Why are they chanting so loud? What's the fire rituals about? There's a lot of things that you could look at and be like, this is so weird, or this might scare somebody. And it's really important to just be in a space of non-judgment. Just to watch, see it, and be open to experiencing something. That is what Hinduism is all about, really. You don't want to, I don't want to say you don't want to, but for those people that do happen to stumble into the room and see all these weird things, it can be difficult because they don't have the context. So if you don't have the context, just take a moment and step back and just put yourself out there to be open to experiencing it. So I don't know if I was answering that specifically for you or for somebody else, but that's one way that you can really understand that, I get it that why somebody might be scared or might be overwhelmed or confused with things. There's a lot to Hinduism that I'm still learning a ton as well, even. But that being said, be open to experiencing something and to not be in a space of judgment and just to even drop the logical mind and just be in a space. That's when you'll experience Hinduism. And that's when you drop that fear and you open up to the possibility of love and something great happening through this ritual or through this process, etc. It, without a doubt, will happen eventually for you. So I hope that helps. That was a really good question. Adrian, I saw your donation. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm glad that you got that answer, or that felt that answer was helpful. We're coming up on, we're just over an hour here. So we'll probably go for just a few more minutes and then we'll wrap this up. Again, if you guys are new to the channel and you want to see more live content, I'm loving going live. It's a lot easier for me as well. I love engaging with everybody. So this is probably something I'd be doing more. If you would think this is something that you would like me to do more of, let me know in the comments section, and even let me know like some types of segments that you would like to see. I just mentioned earlier going live in the evenings, doing some yoga, some asanas that I'm working on. I'm really thinking about that. So let me know. I'm here for you guys. So just let me know. Live stream yoga, Richard says. Okay, all right. I lost my space here. Richard, so much gold here. Great advice. I appreciate that, Richard. Sumit, thank you for your videos and sharing your real experiences, good, bad, ugly, but most important, real. That's what we relate to the most and always love about you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Are you guys still there? Okay, great. I appreciate that. Thank you. Adrian, you got to stop giving me money, man. Thanks for the donation. Christoph, is there a Shakti to light a candle flame with third eye? Yeah. I don't know what that Shakti is called, but let me look into that. I'll see if I can find pramana for that, a scriptural reference, but I'm fairly certain that I heard that exists. So let me look into that. I'll see if I can find it. And maybe Ma Mahayoga can answer this one herself, actually. I'll see. Oh, that would be fun. Does everybody know who Ma Mahayoga is? I can't see if you're raising your hands. She is the one of the most powerful disciples of Swamiji. And she materializes diamonds. She manifests all the powers of third eye. At least every power that I know of, I've seen her manifest. So, but I would love to do a collab session with her. So maybe I'm going to reach out to her and see if I can get her on the channel and we can talk about powers specifically. I think you guys would really love that. Okay, one last question, okay? One last question. How much time does it take to be fully enlightened? We'll end it on that. Batol. How much time does it take to be enlightened? Well, I mean, there's a few different ways I can answer this, because you could say it takes births, it takes Janmas, life after life after life. Like, you wouldn't believe how many lives a lot of us have had to experience enlightenment. So if you want to look at it in that sense, it's going to take a lot of births. That being said, time is also a construct. It's not real. We like we see time as linear, but it's not, right? Actually, in tonight's session by my guru, his webinar, he's going to be talking about how to experience breaking through a vertical time zone, how to experience different lokas, different states of consciousness, different dimensions, piercing through that time layer that you're asking about. So if you actually want to learn the true answer to that question, then I would watch the webinar and I would sign up for that. So as soon as I log off, I'll post the link. Check it out, not download it, but click the link and just register and watch the webinar tonight. If you don't watch it tonight for whatever reason, I'm sure there'll be a replay, but that would be without a doubt the best way for you to actually experience how long it takes, because it's a loaded question, really. Time doesn't exist, and ultimately my guru can pluck you whenever he wants. He just gave me enlightenment one day. I asked for it. It was something I was craving and I really was tense about it. But he just gave it to me. I didn't earn it. I didn't do anything. It was just when I was ready. So when you are ready, it will happen. There's a lot of the ways I can answer this. When you are ready, it will happen. It will take lifetimes, but it can also happen right now. And he's given it to me, so it just happened in one moment. So there's a lot of different ways I could answer that, and to be honest, I'm not at all qualified to answer that question. The only beings that would be qualified are the ones such as my guru. So I hope I answered that okay for you, but watch the webinar. We'll go from there. So thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in today. I truly appreciate your guys' time and donations as well. These are the first donations that I've got. I'm definitely not doing this for the money. I'm doing this for you. So every Saturday, 10 a.m., I'm here. And again, keep your eyes peeled. I'm probably going to start going live a lot more, and I'll structure it so you guys can kind of follow along with the schedule as well. Keep your eyes peeled, because in the evenings I am planning on going live for doing some yoga stuff, just to play around or show you what I'm doing. And I'll take some questions and help you guys if you have any questions during that time too. And yeah, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. My name is Yogananda, and I'm truly blessed and grateful and thankful that you came and joined and sat in on this session today. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the future for more sessions and at tonight's webinar too. So thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. As always, be blissful, and we'll see you guys on the next video, okay? Take care. Now I'll close with the Puna mantra. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Datsat Sarvam Bhagavat Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam Paduka Paramastu. Om Nithyanandam. Nithyanandam, everybody. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you guys future videos. Take care.